Welcome to Like Totally Vegan, and today we're going to make vegan deviled eggs using potatoes and no eggs, so cruelty free. Let's get started. I've laid everything out, and this is something you should do with all your recipes because it's always a pain to be measuring things out while things are cooking and burning. If everything's already pre-laid out, everything runs really smoothly. So as you see, I have put all the spices out. I have potatoes, and I've washed and cleaned the potatoes. They say about 12. I added one or more to them so that if you need some more potato meat, it's there. And get the steamer fired up, and I have added water to the bottom part of the steamer. And I'm going to turn on the burner on high and get that hot water going. So I have the steamer basket over here where I'm cutting the potatoes so that I can just pop them in because it gets really hot and you don't want to deal with that. And so I take a potato and I cut it in half, and then I grab it and just kind of slice off a little piece of it so that it doesn't wobble inside the egg holder. And you're just going to go ahead and do that with all 12 or 13 of the potatoes. And I've done a couple extra potatoes because you need a total of 1/3 of a cup of the cooked potato to be part of the yolk. And I just want to make sure there's enough potato to give it that nice texture. I'm doing a red one too, and the red one's nice because it has more of a white for the egg white. So it's really up to you. You can also use fingerling potatoes. See here, I finished cutting all of the potatoes and they're all nicely flat. They don't wobble, which is good. And I'm going to put them into the steamer basket. I'm going to turn it down to medium, maybe even a little lower. Nice heavy simmer. And put the basket in so that the potatoes steam, the lid on, and then we're going to set the alarm to 15 minutes and then check on them at that time. Alright, it is time to check on the potatoes. I'm just going to pull one out and then kind of dig into where the yolk is going to be, just to try it. Ooh, that's really hot. Ow. Careful, it's really hot. Perfect. You want it to kind of taste not underdone, because that's just not a good taste. And you don't want it too overdone where it's mushy. You want it to hold its shape. And then you turn off the heat, and then you take the basket out so that the steam isn't continuously cooking them more. And you let this cool for a few minutes until they're cool enough to handle them. Here I have all the steamed potatoes out. I put it in the freezer for just a bit. You want to cool them down so that you can handle them, but you still want them warm because it's easier to scoop out the centers when they're a little bit warm. So I'm using a melon baller, and it's just a nice shape to scoop out that middle part and leave the place for the yolk. You don't want to scoop all of it out because you want to leave a bit of the white, egg white left in the potato. And then once you scoop it out, you're going to put it in this 1/3 cup measuring cup. And that way when it's filled up, you know it's enough potatoes to put in the vegan egg yolk. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do some more. So you just kind of squish them and get that ball out there. They don't have to be perfect because eggs are not perfect. But let's pop that out. Let's do a red one. It just takes a few moments, and you're just going to go through and do them all. Those have been balled out, and I have a nice mounded 1/3 of a cup of the innards that were left over. And I'm just going to take a potato masher and mash them up. And this is really important because you need to make this nice and creamy because if there's any chunks, it's going to get caught in the piping bag or Ziploc bag that you use. So I'm just going to go ahead and mash this up. While I'm mashing, I'm going to talk about the ingredients a little bit. As you see here, I have a vegan mayonnaise called Just Mayo. And veganese can also be used, or actually any of your favorite vegan mayonnaise can be used for this, which is nice. Then of course we have the usual yellow mustard that's all over the place. Just your standard yellow mustard. And then we have black salt, which a lot of people might not know about. Black salt is sold at from India markets, and also online. I get mine on Amazon. So Amazon has it, other online sources have it, and it's a salt. It's actually kind of pinkish in color, but it tastes like eggs. It's like a real sulfur blast, but it also has a salty element to it. So in lieu of salt and pepper, I'm going to use the black salt and pepper to give it that eggy blast and the salty taste. So it's really exciting to use, especially if you like that egg flavor without the cruelty of eggs. So of course we have paprika and then ground black pepper. I like using the pre-ground black pepper for this because the kind that you kind of crack into it can be really kind of coarse and kind of get caught in your teeth and such. This is a little more smooth. So now I'm going to go ahead and use a little fork and just get those pieces really small because you don't want any caught up in the piping bag tip or the Ziploc. Just keep going around. And then once it's all mashed, you just add all the ingredients and stir it up. So here we go. I'm going to add some vegan mayonnaise. Spatula to get it all out, every last bit. And then the mustard. And the mustard gives it a nice yellow tinge, like egg yolks. Some people add turmeric if you're not adding so much mustard. But in this case, the yellow mustard is more than enough for the color and the flavor. So here is the paprika and the black salt, and I'll have a recipe with all the amounts posted in the information below. And then I add a little bit of salt and pepper, well, the black salt, and then pepper to taste. We'll add a little bit now. Just mix that up. Bringing back memories of all the deviled eggs that you've made in the past. Well, this is actually a more cruelty-free version. Obviously, all cruelty-free version. But you still get the amazing vegan egg flavor. And if you don't want to put the paprika in there, you don't have to. You can add it later. It's really up to you. If you don't add the paprika, it's a little more of a yellow color, which is more egg yolk-like. It's up to you. And that's the thing about this recipe. You can add or delete whatever you like to your taste. And now it's time to pipe in the fake yolk into the potatoes. And you can use a piping bag with a tip. Another option is to use this Ziploc, a small Ziploc. You could even use a snack size Ziploc, and you just pop it in. Helps to have someone helping you with that. And what's cool about it is you can actually save it in the bag if you don't use all the egg yolk, the fake egg yolk. And you can actually mix some chickpeas with this or some jackfruit and make like an egg salad sandwich. It's very versatile. So as you see here, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the tip just a little bit, because if you do too big, it's not going to work, but you don't want it too small either. And then you just go ahead and start squeezing it out. Squish it down. See, it's kind of sticking there. Now we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of paprika, and you can actually use the lid of the jar. And you're just going to sprinkle a little bit on each little egg yolk. You can extend out to the potato part too, it's up to you. Just to add a little color. You can also add some chopped chives or fresh dill, even some parsley for a little green blast. This is really, really versatile. It's really whatever you want to do. And then I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of black salt on each one, because it adds a little bit of eggy salt flavor to the potato part. And, you know, let's be honest, eggs are very salty, and people are expecting a very salty pop in their mouth. So let's give it to them, again, without the cruelty. So I'm going to grab this guy. Very good. Well, thank you for cooking with me, and I hope that you use this recipe and take it to your friends' parties and show them how delicious a retro vegan deviled egg can be. Thanks for watching. Bye.